Hi, Jenna here. Today I'm going to talk to you about dry shampoo. I think that dry shampoo has probably been one of the best inventions in terms of hair products made because it's one of the few ones that actually does what it says it's going to do. And really, for me, it's created a great time saver. I'm doing hair at the salon all week and I just don't want to spend a whole lot of time on my own hair. So I want to be able to style it once and then let it go, maybe touch it up. And dry shampoo is one of the best products to touch up your roots. It adds volume, it soaks up the oils and allows me to go up to 7 days without washing my hair. This video is going to cover how to choose a dry shampoo, when and where to apply it, and how to remove the dry shampoo after you've applied it, however many days you've applied it, because it will build up and it can be difficult to get off your scalp and the roots of your hair if you are not using the right shampoos for that. And then at the end of the video, I'm gonna tell you the brands that I like to use, that I use in the salon, and that seems to work well with pretty much all hair types. And just to let you know, all the products and the tools that I use can be found in the description box below. So I'm gonna share with you some of my go-to products, but if you have any recommendations on ones that you like, that you've tried and work the best in your hair, I would love to hear your comments in the description about which brands work well for you, because I'm always trying to find that miracle product that's going to last a long time, is not going to feel heavy in the hair, you're not going to see it that much, and is relatively inexpensive. So if you have that product, let me know and let all of us know what that would be in the comments below. So if you're interested in learning a little bit more about how to use dry shampoo, stay tuned. Okay, first off, I'm going to talk about how I choose a dry shampoo. So some of the things that I look for in a dry shampoo is the scent, first and foremost, because for me, the scent can be a deal breaker. I'm pretty sensitive to really strong scents, and we all have our preferences on whether we like floral or fruity or just really clean smelling scents or powdery scents. And for me, anything that's too strong starts giving me a headache. So a lot of times in the stores, I will actually spray the dry shampoo in the lid just a little bit. I'm not really using any product. I'm just spraying it in the lid so I can smell the scent, because I don't want to buy it if it's gonna give me a headache. And I usually can tell pretty right off the bat if it's gonna do that. So scent is a big factor. Also, how well it blends into the hair is one that I've had to just find out with trial and error. A lot of dry shampoos leave like this chalky cast in your roots, and that can be kind of difficult to blend, especially in people with darker hair or even red hair. Blonde people can tend to get away with using ones that do leave a chalky cast, but I don't think anyone really wants a chalky cast in their roots, but the less of that, the better. So that's also a criteria that I have for when I choose my dry shampoo. Also, how much it coats the roots, how heavy it sits on there can be a factor. For people with really super fine hair, that's really important to have one that's on the lighter side, that doesn't have too heavy of a feel. And there's a lot of dry shampoos out there that they are great for soaking up oil, but then they kind of either are so heavy that your scalp is starting to get irritated and starting to itch, or it's just feeling like it's weighing down your roots. And really, you want your dry shampoo, if anything, to volumize your roots. So that's a big factor that I look for. and also how drying it is. Dry shampoos, that their whole purpose is for soaking up oil, and so that in itself lends itself to drying. And some brands that I've tried are so drying that my scalp instantly feels irritated, and even my hands will feel irritated when I go rub the product into my scalp. My hands will feel like they need to be moisturized ASAP. So to me, that's a clear sign that maybe the product is a little too drying. I'm always trying to find products that are the right balance between soaking up the oil but not being so drying that my scalp can't handle the itch factor. So those are my criterias. Some brands have incorporated new elements to their ingredients that allows them to be more conditioning or gives them pigment to blend into the hair. There's still more innovation happening. Not all lines have these conditioning or color properties to them, but some of them do. I know that Batiste has some brown pigmented dry shampoos, as well as Bumble and Bumble has some. I just know that they're out there. I haven't really discovered a favorite yet of mine, one that has pigment and doesn't feel too heavy yet, but I have found a few of my favorites that are light enough and blend well enough to disappear pretty well in the hair. And those are the ones that I use in the salon, which I'll mention later on. When you apply dry shampoo, so obviously you apply when your hair is feeling oily, and a lot of times you would think, oh, I'm just gonna apply dry shampoo when I'm getting ready in the morning. And that's a good time to do it. But there's also other times that you could be adding dry shampoo to your roots that will preemptively keep your roots from also looking too oily. So these times could be like before a workout, or wearing a ponytail, or even going to bed. So a lot of times when we work out, we are putting our hair into a ponytail. This is my workout hair for today. You can see I incorporate a headband and a clip, and I have a ponytail in there to keep it all secure. But before I put this up, I sprayed some dry shampoo. I was testing out a new dry shampoo that one of the other influencers on YouTube had recommended, and so I wanted to test that out before my workout. A lot of times when I'm going to wear my hair up at night to preserve a hairstyle, or if I'm going to wear a ponytail on one of my third or fourth days of not washing, I will go ahead and put dry shampoo on the interior of my hair, not on this part. I'll put it back in my roots and then pull my hair up, because a lot of times when you're pulling your hair up, you're kind of mushing the rest of your hair into your oily roots, and so that's spreading that oil on the rest of your hair, which can be nourishing, but it could also make your hair look a little bit more dirty. So before you put your hair up is a good time to use dry shampoo. It also works to help create that kind of voluminous look and some grit if you're planning on wearing any bobby pins or anything. A lot of times people use dry shampoo when they're doing updos for those purposes too, to create grip in the hair. Putting dry shampoo on is definitely good to apply in the morning as you're styling your hair, but you can also apply it before bed if you're wearing your hair up, or before a workout. And that just preemptively allows you to not spread the oil on the rest of your hair. You may still need to touch up with dry shampoo afterwards, after you wake up in the morning or after your workout. And some people will even put dry shampoo in their hair even though their hair is perfectly clean. Some people like that that dry shampoo can give them more grit and volume at their roots and kind of helps lifts things up. So it doesn't have to be just for dirty hair. Okay, so now I'm going to apply dry shampoo. I'm going to just show you the one that I put in my hair last night that I'm testing out. So I'll go ahead and take out my hair and take out my clip. And you can see what I'm working with today. This is, I washed my hair Sunday night. So it's Friday today. And this is what it's looking like. Granted, I put some dry shampoo in my hair before my workout this morning. So I don't know if you can see it. I don't see it, which is good. And that's kind of the nice thing about putting it in and then either sleeping on it or working out is, in a sense, it's kind of working the dry shampoo. It's absorbing, and so it doesn't need a whole lot of blending. But the dry shampoo that I used before my workout is this Herbal Essence, their BioRenew volume shampoo. It's got white grapefruit and mocha mint. Yeah, I like the smell of this. It's definitely kind of like a sweeter, sort of fruity scent that I don't mind at all. My hands did feel pretty dry when I first put them in, and I was just checking out to see the feel of it. It definitely makes my roots feel pretty dry. And yeah, I'm pretty pleased with this product. So I'll show you how I apply. I apply dry shampoo only to my roots. And I say that because I know people who will apply it all to their ends as well, because it gives them that kind of lived in, kind of voluminous look. And I think it's great if you do maybe once and in moderation, but I find that that's super drying on the hair. And a lot of times, especially with people that are processing their hair, that can be too much drying to the hair, and the hair can become kind of brittle and tend to break, and that's never a good thing. So I highlight my hair, and I want to keep it as good condition as possible, so I don't ever put it on my ends. I just concentrate it on my roots, and when I put it in, I'm just doing this section right here. So I will flip my hair over and just spray it. Take another section, spray, and I'll keep spraying it. And I wear my hair right here, so I'm not gonna put it right on my part. I usually don't put it heavily on my part. Usually I kind of try and concentrate it underneath first, and then I'll work it in and see if I need it right on my part. But especially if you're using a dry shampoo that's got pigment in it, sometimes that pigment will show up on your scalp, and which could be a good thing, like if you're thinning and you don't want your scalp to show, but it could also be for people that don't want their scalp covered, and you would avoid that. So usually I let it sit for like maybe 30 seconds up to a minute, let it soak in, and then I'll go through and kind of work it in underneath with my fingers and see if it will disappear that way. And then if that doesn't do the trick, if you're using a dry shampoo that has a pretty chalky cast, or like your hair is dark and it's just not blending in well enough, then at that point you can go ahead and kind of brush your scalp, or brush your roots. And I have a designated brush that I like to do that with, because it will put that dry shampoo on your brush. If you don't mind that, use whatever brush you want, but I have kind of a designated one. It's my Teasing brush, and it works pretty well to kind of go ahead and blend roots. So, and usually I only need to kind of blend near my part or my hairline this way. If it's chalky underneath, no one really knows. So I don't worry about that. It's more like, you know, whatever shows. Yeah, and if you're using a root concealer, so if you're gray and you want to use your concealer, I recommend putting your concealer after your dry shampoo. And get your dry shampoo all worked in, and then put your concealer on top of it. But if you're using like a product like Bumble and Bumble has a dry shampoo with pigment that kind of works as a concealer and a dry shampoo at the same time, then obviously you don't need to worry about which order. But if you have a separate one, that's what I'm talking about, is just applying your root camouflage after the dry shampoo. Okay, now I'm going to talk about removal of the dry shampoo. Because dry shampoo is something that we extend our wash day out with, that means that not only are we dealing with more residue on our scalp from maybe the oil and then the dry shampoo soaking up the oil, we've got more to remove. And that can be a little challenging for just your everyday shampoo. You may want to incorporate shampoos that have stronger surfactants, like those shampoos with sulfates. Now, sulfates have been touted to be pretty bad as of late, and that you should avoid them, but actually they can work pretty well in removing buildup and the buildup that you get from dry shampoo. Because they do have more of a detergent in them, they will make your hair color fade a little bit quicker. So in those cases, if you have pigmented hair, like a red color, a fashion kind of like bold poppy color, or a darker color that or a color that's covering gray, in those instances you'll want to choose a clarifying shampoo that's color safe. And there are those out there, and they won't use sulfates, they'll use other ingredients for that. There are some that are out there. The one that I use in the salon is Gena. I also use Malibu. I've been using the Malibu at home. They've got a lot of products that help with removal of buildup and chlorine and that sort of thing, or even minerals from hard water. The one that I'm using here is the Hard Water Wellness, and that removes my buildup. But I don't have a darker color in my hair. Sometimes I'll put a toner in my hair, and in those cases I don't want to shampoo the toner out too quickly. But otherwise, if I don't have a toner in my hair, then I'm not too worried about using a shampoo with sulfates. And the one that I use with sulfates, because I have psoriasis issues or scalp irritation issues with some ingredients that are in a lot of shampoos, is this Head and Shoulders for seborrhea. And that gets rid of my dry shampoo pretty well. Another product that gets out dry shampoo and removes buildup is apple cider vinegar. There are lots of benefits with apple cider vinegar, but one of them is that it's pretty good at removing stuff from your scalp. And the one that I like to use right now, and I'm still testing out products, but the one that I found that I like to use is this Pureology. They've got this vinegar hair rinse, and it's got cactus pear and flower extract, and obviously apple cider vinegar. But yeah, so that's good as well, and will close down your cuticle, enhance curl, and also remove flaky scalp from buildup and dry scalp. So yeah, apple cider vinegar is a great solution to many problems. And I'll have another video on that, how you can make your own, after this one. So with all that in mind, I'm going to tell you now my two favorites that I use in the salon on a regular basis and recommend to my clients. Granted, I'm always looking for new ones, so if you have a better option, let me know in comments below. This is probably my favorite one, the IGK First Class Charcoal Detox Dry Shampoo. I like it because the scent is pretty good, it's not too overwhelming, and it's very blendable in the hair, and it's pretty heavy duty. It can soak up a lot of oil, and I don't find that I need to really reapply it day to day after I've used it. Usually I'm good for a couple days. So that's why I like this one. My second choice of the one that I actually found before the IGK that I really liked was the Living Proof, their Perfect Day Dry Shampoo. And I like this one because it's very lightweight and works in very fine textures, and you don't really feel it as much. Like you won't feel like there's product in your hair. It looks like clean hair. There's like usually very little cast that this leaves. And it's got a pretty good scent. It's a little strong, but it dissipates after a while. And it's just like a very clean scent. But the only thing about this, it's so lightweight that I find that I have to reapply it maybe the next day. So I end up using more of it and it goes very quickly. Whereas the first class one, you get more in the bottle. They also have an invisible one, which I have tested out, and I like that one too. It's kind of like the living proof one, in that it's super lightweight. You really don't feel it in your hair. But again, you have to reapply it. Yeah, that's the trade-off with finding one that's super lightweight. But I think both of these work pretty well with fine hair types, and they blend pretty well with people that have darker hair colors as well. And if you can't handle the scents of these dry shampoos, because dry shampoos are usually super heavily scented. Some brands will have non-scented ones, but they're kind of hard to find, and who knows if they're, you know, how will they blend or whatever. But you can make your own dry shampoo at home using some things that you could have already in your cupboards. One of the things that I started out using before I found the dry shampoos that I liked was just your average baby powder. I would just kind of go through, tap it in like this, and work it in that way. And then, but I've got pretty light hair, so even if it wasn't super blendable, I couldn't really see it in my hair that much. And I don't mind the baby powder scent. But if you wanted to make your own, you could also use starch. Most dry shampoos are just starch. You can put starch and then mix it with a scent if you want. You probably would have to put it in like a blender or something if you were going to add a scent that's more liquid, like a essential oil or something. And if you want to make your DIY dry shampoo pigmented, so it blends in with your hair color, you can add things like cocoa if you're trying to make brown, or charcoal if you're trying to make black, ginger if you're trying to like go for my hair color, although white is usually fine for lighter colors. Cinnamon if you're going for something that's a little bit more of a reddish tone. But again, if you're going to use even a homemade dry shampoo, be sure to use a shampoo that's gonna take all that out, because you don't want your follicles to get blocked with product, whether it be a natural kitchen ingredient or one that you buy from a store. Both can clog your follicles if you're not removing them properly from the scalp. And you want as much hair as possible. That's the goal. And using a clarifier once a week is the way to do it. I hope some of that was helpful to you. It was a lot of information, and some of it you may have already known, but hopefully some of that was new and helpful. And if that was the case, please hit the like button below. And if you're interested in watching any of my other videos, I've got videos on how to style and maintain your hair so that you're not having to spend very much time on it in the morning. And I will be making a video on how to make a similar vinegar rinse, and also my favorite vinegar rinses besides this one once I find them. I'm still researching. I'm constantly doing product R&D, and I hear from clients what things they like, which I love because I can't test all the products out there. I want to learn from you all what works best. And I have heard that there's a wow vinegar rinse that doesn't smell too vinegary, which I'm very curious about, because this one does still smell vinegary. It smells better than if you were just going to use water and apple cider vinegar at home. But yeah, that one by Wow is supposed to have like actually a really nice scent that's not very vinegary. So thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more information and tactics and tricks and all that good stuff. This is Gena out.